Okay, I'm admitting we are live and I'm admitting everybody. I've disabled the waiting room.
So shall we start?
Yes.
Minutes.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the open house 2021 of Freemasons. My name is John Matthew and I am a Freemason. For the last few years, we have been conducting the open house once a year, usually on 5th of June or the Sunday nearest to it, as it coincides with the date of the laying down of the foundation stone of the District Grand Lodge of Bombay. However, Masonry was present in Mumbai even before that. The objective of open house is to give common public an opportunity to visit our lodges and see in person how the temple looks like, and also ask any questions you may have. However, due to COVID situation this year, just like last year, we decided to conduct the program in a virtual mode. Freemasonry is world's oldest fraternal social organization. While it has more than 3 centuries of written records, the mythological origin of Freemasonry starts from 1000 BC. Many presidents, prime ministers, famous artists, musicians, politicians, whom you may identify from their field of work, were Masons. Just as can be expected from any society that old, there are a lot of information about Masonry in the internet, most of which are fictional and fragments of imagination. So it is our intent to showcase our temple, talk about our craft, and answer any questions you may have about Masonry through this particular program. With this small intro, let me hand it over to Brother Ankit, who will be taking you through today's journey. Any questions you may have, you can post it in the chat box of Zoom or YouTube platform. We will definitely answer it at the end of the presentation. So over to you, Brother Ankit.
Thank you, Brother John. Friends, welcome to the virtual open house. I would like to thank you for taking time off on a Sunday evening to come and listen to this talk. My name is Ankit Chawla and I am a Freemason. But what does that mean when I say I'm a Freemason? Who am I? Who are we Freemasons? I am sure many of us, or many of you would have heard of Freemasons through Dan Brown's books, yes, or through the adaptations of his books into movies starring Tom Hanks. So you must all be thinking, or a lot of you must be thinking that we are a society which is shrouded in secrecy. So this is why we have this open house, so that we can dispel the doubts of people. So let us try to understand what Freemasonry is and why it is called temple and so on. To understand what Freemasonry is, let us first try to understand what Freemasonry was. What are our roots? Yes. So Freemasonry is a fraternal organization that traces its origin to the local guild of Freemasons, to the local guild of stonemasons from around the end of, say, the 14th century. These 14th century Masons were said to be trained by the fabled Masons who came from Egypt after building the magnificent temples and the pyramids there. And then they came and settled down in Europe. So, well, stonemasonry or operative masonry used to be a much sought after profession or a sought after craft in those days. The castles, forts, churches, which survive to this day, are testament to their unparalleled skill and devotion. They had their own professional guilds or bodies, which would train, mentor, and grade their members. These Masons used to work in close-knit groups. They used to move from building site to building site, taking their arts and their secrets with them. In the group were master architects, master masons, craftsmen, apprentices, and their families. Secrets of work like how to cut, polish, finish the stones were handed down from masters to their understudies and so on for ages. These, my friends, were the operative stonemasons. Yes, they had a tough life, but these masons seemed to enjoy their tough life. And their togetherness, their bonhomie, their camaraderie was the envy of the non-masons. With time, the affluent or influential gentry wanted to join them and experience the same feeling of camaraderie. So the masons did admit them, but not as working or operative masons, but as speculative ones. These speculative masons per se were also called Freemasons. Yes. So soon many of these Freemasons, they formed their own rules and regulations derived from that of the operative masons. By around 1700, that is around say 5 to 6 centuries after these 14th century masons came into the picture, there were enough Freemasons to organize themselves in many European countries. Thus, Freemasonry was born. And this Freemasonry, of which I am a proud member, has a documented history of more than 300 years. Ladies and gentlemen, mind you, that is 300 years in the making and continuing. So Freemasonry today is a beautiful system of morality. It is veiled in allegory and it is illustrated by symbols. The symbolism is mainly drawn from the tools of the stonemasons, the square and compasses, the level and plumb rule, the trowel, rough and smooth ashlars, among others. The meaning of the symbolism is taught and explored through ritual and lectures. Friends, I believe you can see this at the very left of my screen. This is the ubiquitous symbol of Freemasons everywhere. Yes, this is the square and the compass. Freemasons everywhere are recognized by this symbol. And to my right, of course, is the logo of Silvery Dawn Lodge. It is a lodge in Mumbai that I am a part of. Now, the operative Freemasons would live in temporary structures, which were called loggias. The structure was called loggia in Italian. Yes, this is what gave rise to the English word lodge. Now, the Masonic lodge is the basic organizational unit of Freemasonry. The lodge meets regularly and conducts the usual formal business of any small organization. They elect new members, they appoint officers, take their reports, they consider correspondence, bills, annual expenses and accounts. We organize social and charitable events. In addition to such businesses, we may have meetings in which a certain ceremony may be performed to confer a Masonic degree or to receive a lecture. Right? At the end of such a meeting, at the end of this kind of meeting, we usually retire downstairs to a banquet hall for something called a festive board. This is a formal sit-down dinner where a lot of protocol is observed. So our meetings are divided into two parts. Generally, one meeting which is in the temple room, and the other one which is in the festive board or the formal dinner. So I hope I've been able to share some light on what Freemasonry was, and let us try to understand what Freemasonry is today. And I hope I can get to answering a few of your questions as well in the near future. So this is the building. This is the Freemasons Hall, where we meet once a month. This is situated right opposite Sterling Theatre on Ravelan Street. This is about 4 minutes walk from the Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj terminus, the final station at the end of the central line. 4 minutes walking from there and you reach this Freemasons Hall. This is a grade 2 heritage structure. Its foundation stone was laid on the 5th of June 1897. So it is a 124-year-old structure, ladies and gentlemen. Its construction was started, as I mentioned, in 1897, and its construction was ended in 2 years. At this end, where you can see trees, there is a restaurant called the Goose and Gridiron. This is where the cornerstone of our Freemasons Hall is laid. Now, the cornerstone is generally the first stone which is laid in the foundation of any building. For Freemasons, cornerstones were always laid in the northeast corner of the building. Even in Vastu, in fact, the northeast corner of a building holds great symbolism. This cornerstone of our Freemasons Hall was laid at the hands of William Baron Sandhurst. He was the erstwhile governor of Bombay. I'm sure a lot of you would have heard about Sandhurst Road Station on the central line of Mumbai Railways. This station is also named after Governor Sandhurst, who was a distinguished Freemason and at whose hands our cornerstone was laid. Now, coming back to the building, you can see this part where you can see a staircase going up into the building. This is the entrance to the building. And once you enter, you reach this foyer. This foyer is lined with Belgium tiles, gotten directly from Belgium. They look beautiful even to this day. The moment you come at the entrance, to your immediate right, you can see a long winding staircase going up. And to your immediate front, you will see the Framji Kuwasi dining hall. This is the biggest dining hall in the building, and it can easily seat 120 people. You can see here that the walls are adorned with distinguished Freemasons, photographs of the distinguished Freemasons. Here are a few other photographs so you can have a look. This is the catering staff that we require to cater to a good 100, 120 people. And this is one of our festive boards in action. So the moment you step back, you come to this winding staircase, as I had just mentioned. So on this winding staircase, you go right up and you see beautiful, fine filigree work here done. The balustrades. And from the bottom, you have this picture taken from the bottom, from the foyer. This chandelier is on the second floor. It's such a beautiful image of this chandelier you can take right from the bottom. You go right up. This is the landing of the second floor. And finally, friends, we have reached the second floor. You can see here, the district delegation, which is waiting to enter the Sandhurst Road Temple for a meeting. Now the doors are open, ladies and gentlemen. This is a photograph of the Sandhurst Temple. This is where we see the working of the lodge done. So we enter at the west, where we are entering. If we are standing here, this is the west. We see right to the east is right opposite us. We see at the east, there is a beautiful ornate chair here. This is the master's chair. And between the west, where we are, and the east, is depicted on the ceiling. We can see the beautiful sky being drawn there, replete with the sun and the stars. We can see the west and the east stretched by the stars here, by the sky. From the sun here, at the very center of the room, hangs a single letter G, which stands for the grand geometrician of the universe of a god. Also, please note, behind this ornate chair to the east, you can see this. It is a photograph of the all-seeing eye. And in the center of this room, you can see a mosaic pavement, which has alternate white and black checks. Gentlemen, G, the letter G written, it refers to the grand geometrician of the universe. And geometry is a very important part of Freemason's life. This is very clearly shown in this temple, wherein This whole room is replete with geometry. The room is as long as it is high. It has the same dimensions in terms of being long, east to west, and high. And the east-west length, the length here, east to west, is exactly double the length of the north-south dimension. Yes? We have some more images of the temple here. Kindly note this image, wherein there are two stones which are bathed in sunlight here. So these stones are called ashlars. Yes, and they're bathed in sunlight here. This is about the temple in the in Mumbai, in the Freemasons Hall in Mumbai. But we have temples in many other locations. Likewise, if you can see, we have the Freemasons Hall and the temple in Pune. We have a presence in Nagpur as well. There's a Freemasons Hall and temple in Nagpur. There's one in Bhusawal called Lodge Excelsior in Khandesh. There's one in Jalandhar as well. And there's one. This is in Munnar, Kerala. So as you can see, we have lodges and our presence in the whole of the country. Wherever you are, in whichever part of the country, you are never far away from a Freemasons Hall or from a lodge. Yeah. Now, let us understand what this temple room is, the Sanders temple room, as I explained about. Why is it called a temple? See, a temple is a place where a spiritual being is worshipped. Every act in the temple is spiritual in nature, although not religious. Masons believe in a supreme being. You can see on this table different religious texts which are being kept. The crux of this is that all brethren are welcome to Freemasonry, regardless of their caste, creed, color, or religion. As long as they believe in a supreme authority, they are welcome. You remember, friends, we saw the ornate chair in the east, which is also called the chair of the worshipful master. This chair is also called the chair of King Solomon. It is the ancient seat of learning and wisdom. The master of the lodge is, as the name suggests, he is the master of the lodge. He is supposed to be the representative of King Solomon. And as his representative, he is expected to mete out justice and fairness to all the brethren of the lodge. He is placed in the east. As the sun opens the day, the worshipful master is also placed in the east to open the lodge and to instruct all the brethren about Freemasonry. The second important person here is the senior warden. He is second in command to the worshipful master. His seat is in the west. You can see this column on his table. This is in the Doric style of architecture, and it represents strength. The senior warden, as I mentioned, is placed in the west where the sun sets. Hence, it is his duty to close the lodge as per the command of the worshipful master, just as the sun sets in the west and closes the day. The third important member here is the junior warden. He is the third officer in the lodge. He sits in the south of the temple, and it is his duty to see that only Freemasons are permitted into the lodge. All non-Masons are not permitted into the lodge workings. The column that you can see here, this column, this is of the Corinthian style of architecture, and it is symbolic of beauty. The junior warden is also the steward of the lodge. He looks after the catering to the festive banquet. Now, the secretary is the administrative backbone of the lodge. He ensures that the lodge functions smoothly. He is generally a very senior member of the lodge, and he's one of the hardest working members in the lodge. Generally, he is a past master who is well versed with the workings of the lodge and the district. This letter G, my friends, it hangs in the center of the lodge, directly above the mosaic pavement. It represents the grand geometrician of the universe, or God. This letter reminds us that he is always within our midst at all times. So the words God are also represented by the Hebrew words Gomer or Dabar, meaning wisdom, strength, and beauty. This is exactly, if you notice, the columns also of the columns of the junior warden, the senior warden, also representing the Doric and the Corinthian style. Strength, beauty, and wisdom. Wisdom is the master's, is the column of the master. Now, this is a close-up of the mosaic pavement. The word mosaic implies that this is derived from Moses. This pavement reminds a mason of the duality and dichotomy of life, the ups and downs, good and evil, light and dark, night and day. This teaches us as Freemasons to treat fortune and misfortune just the same and to have a balanced outlook and approach in life. The all-seeing eye is directly behind the worshipful master's chair. This reminds us that since someone who is a God is always watching us, a Freemason is expected to be honest and upright in his thoughts, words, and actions. We also have a beautiful musical instrument here in our temple, in our lodge. This is a pipe organ, and it is one of the 3 surviving pipe organs in Mumbai in actual working condition. We have this in our lodge. We take great pride of the same in owning this fully working pipe organ. It is regularly played during our ceremonies. Incidentally, the other 2 pipe organs are housed in St. Thomas Church and in the Afghan Church in Mumbai. Now, ladies and gentlemen, let me explain that there are 3 degrees in Freemasonry. The first degree, or the entered apprentice, the second degree, or the fellow craft, and the third degree, or the master mason. Now, this is the apron of the first degree, or the entered apprentice's apron. An apron is a protective gear that saves one person from hurt or damage. This was of significant use, especially for operative masons. The entered apprentice mason is white in color. It signifies purity and innocence. It was generally made of lambskin. In fact, if you notice this flap is generally turned up towards the upper side. This is to provide historically more protection also to the entered apprentice mason, who is very new in Freemasonry. This is the fellow craft's apron, or the apron of the second degree. This apron is denoted by these 2 rosettes. It is believed that wisdom has started to penetrate. The body and the soul are now in unison, but the spirit is still lacking in the second degree. There's still some work to be done. And this, ladies and gentlemen, is the apron of the master mason. It is replete with symbolism. There are 2 triangles here, one which is made by this flap, and the other triangle which is made by these 3 rosettes. Now, there are 4 elements of the earth, fire, air, and water. In this instant, we concern ourselves with 2, one that is fire and the other that is water. So the water symbolizes the soul of man, and this is the fire that symbolizes the spark of the spirit that comes and gives meaning to the water of man. Yes, this is what happens in the third degree, and this shows the apron of a master mason who is now complete in his journey. Ladies and gentlemen, these 2 blocks that I had shown earlier, the ashlars, these are the rough and the smooth ashlars. So the one which is below is the rough ashlar, and the one which is placed on it is the smooth ashlar, or the perfect ashlar. Okay, so a rough ashlar symbolizes an unformed mason. He's raw, and he has a long way to go. Yes, it also symbolizes one's ambition in life. This is where one currently is. This is an ashlar, which means it is a good enough stone. So this is a good person, yes, who's an entered apprentice. However, he has to reach here, which is a perfect ashlar. This is his everlasting ambition in life, to become perfect, to become better. And this is symbolized through the two ashlars. Yes. Ladies and gentlemen, we've come to the close of this session. I hope I've been able to explain to you about, give you at least a cursory glance about Freemasonry, what it is that we do, and what it is that we're all about. As you can see, we have nothing shouted in secrecy. We're not a secret organization as such. Nothing for Tom Hanks to be proud of, or Dan Brown. So, friends, any questions on your side? We'll be happy to take them. Over to you, Brother John.
Thank you, Brother Ankit.
Sure.
So, Brother Ankit, you can stop sharing the screen. Yes. Anyone wants to take this email ID, you may do so. Okay, so now the time for the question and answers. You may want to type any of your questions in the chat window, and we'll be happy to answer that. I can see one question from Mr. Jayesh. What does it take to be a Freemason? Good question. Anyone who is 21 years of age, okay, any man who is 21 years of age, of sound judgment, strict morals, and has a belief in a supreme being, any religion is fine. So you can be a Mason. So you can apply to be a Mason, and there is a process that we follow. Usually there will be an interview, and that's how you become a Mason. So you can contact us in the number that is given. You can also visit this website, www.dglbombay.in, for more information. Let me check what are the other questions. What are the secrets or different handshake you have? Okay. So the Masonic secrets are basically some of the signs tokens that we use to recognize each other. And this has come from the stonemason guilds. These are not really secrets. These are some of the processes that we follow internally, and nothing really relevant for the external world. It's only to identify each other. And even if I tell you that, you may not really understand that as a secret. It's just something which is really internal. But actually, we don't have any secrets as you think, which is projected. When will membership be open to women? Okay, that's asked by Urvashi. Again, see, we are descendants of the stonemason guilds, okay, from Europe. So that point of time, the stonemasons were all males. So we actually follow that tradition even today. But however, having said that, there are Freemasonic temples of women, as well as there are co-Masonic temples. Even in India, we have. Even if you do some Google search, you will find that out. We don't have contacts with them, but however, we are aware that there are women's Freemasonry as well in India. Thank you for this is from Philip. Thank you for the presentation. I'm a foreigner living in India for more than 1 year, and I intend to live here for some more years. Is it possible for me to join? Of course, Philip, you can contact us in the number and the email ID that was given there. We'll be happy to talk to you. Alim is asking, what are the average cost or membership cost? See, just like any other social organization, there will be a joining fee, and also there is a subscription, which is very moderate, and it may vary from lodge to lodge. So I cannot give you an average number, but it's a very, very moderate amount that you may have to pay. You have to contact your nearest lodge, and they will tell you what exactly the amount would be. Odekel Johnson is asking, give a sense of some activities as part of the lodge. Johnson, I would say that you have to be part of the lodge to see the activities. We do a lot of charity activities, a lot of social outreach activities. Apart from that, basically the basic philosophy of Masonry is all about making good men better. Okay, it's like Brother Angit just said, it's like polishing a rough ashlar and making it smooth, a fine ashlar. So that's what we believe in. So charity is one of the activities that we undertake. A lot of social outreach activities we do. Okay, let me look at, I missed some questions, just a sec. Do different Grand Lodges follow different methods of working? Yeah, there is slight variation in not different Grand Lodges doesn't have any changes. All the lodges under the United Grand Lodge of England has the same working and same processes. But if you go to different constitution, there could be slight variations in the working. So Manisha is asking, what kind of work is done here? So as I said, it is a social organization. So we do a lot of social outreach programs. We do a lot of charity work. Probably Freemasonry is one of the largest philanthropic organizations in the world. Even in India, we do a lot of work across. For example, recently when the COVID situation also, we helped a lot of people, even the police force, the medical fraternity, even arranging food for the needy people. So a lot of work has been done. So we continue to do that. Apart from that, we are around, as I said, it's more of about self-development of people. Okay, Anand Parekh is asking, how long do you usually take to go from being an apprentice to a master mason? It depends on the lodge and the number of people who are there in the queue. Okay. However, I think usually from an apprentice to a master mason, it will be around 10 months to 1 year time. That's the earliest time, but it can vary from lodge to lodge. Okay, Danesh Irani is asking, you mentioned one of the objectives of Freemasonry is making good men better. So how does Freemasonry help members to work on themselves? Okay, very good question, Danesh. Freemasonry is all about philosophy that we follow. Okay, there are a lot of processes, a lot of protocols that we have. We also have a lot of rituals that we follow. Basically, when you want to talk about an esoteric subject, words are not enough to explain it correctly. So that is the reason why we follow certain rituals to make people understand the basic philosophy of Freemasonry. And it's all about symbolism. It's all about communicating beyond words. So once you go through that process, it actually your self-awareness will improve. You will also, at how to lead a life with strict morals, social consciousness, better as a better human. So that's what Masonry is all about. So again, I would say that you have to join to experience it. Which are the different rights that are present in India? I'm not very sure about that question. If you are asking about constitutions, mainly there are 3-4 different constitutions. There is an English constitution, there is a Scottish constitution, there is an Irish constitution, and then also, of course, there is an Indian constitution. These are the main constitutions that are there. Apart from this, there could be others which I'm not aware of. Someone has asked me again a question, who can be a Freemason? I already answered this question. Any man who is above 21 years, okay, who has sound judgment and a belief in a supreme being. And you can be part of any religion. We are actually religion agnostic. So you can be from any religion, but you should have a belief in God.
Brother John, there's one message by Vidya Jakmak, which says, "Good evening. Thank you for the great introduction. Hope to see the amazing Masonic Lodge building in person someday." I just like to answer that by saying, Vidya, it is an amazing building. We also, you know where we are, so you can come and visit us. We also wish to see the building. Because of COVID, we're all not able to go there currently. So once things settle down, even we would love to go see our building again. Per se.
Another direct message. I'm not sure what the name is. Para. Hello, Brother John. The rough rock to soft rock symbolism is very interesting. I am from Busaval. However, I have moved to Canada since 4 years now. I want to join the Freemasons here. Is the process of joining same as that in India? Of course, you just have to contact the nearby, Freemasons Lodge, and they will direct you the, how to join. Right? Did I miss any question?
No, I don't think so.
Any retirement age? No, in Masonry, we don't have any retirement. Once you're a Mason, you are a Mason. So as long as you wish to be part of the craft, you will be a craft, and you will die a Mason. So you're always a Mason. Once you're a Mason, you're always a Mason. Okay, from my previous interactions, I'm aware of the great personalities from Mumbai who significantly contributed to the city. Can I request you to please name a few great people of Mumbai in its formative age for the benefit of the new audience? Okay, so there are many known names. For example, J.R.D. Tata, everyone would have heard about it. Dadabhai Naoroji, everyone would have heard about him. Okay. Ankit already mentioned about the Sanders. Yeah, Sanders. There are many others. Even the chief architect of the Victoria terminals, now it is Chhatrapati terminals. He was a Mason. There are a lot of other people. Even in India, I mean, if you say, even Swami Vivekananda was a Mason. Motilal Nehru was a Mason. Rajagopalachari was a Mason. You'll see a lot of eminent people who are Masons. If you see the American presidents, most of them were Masons across the world. Even many of the prime ministers were Masons.
I believe Mansoor Ali Khan Patodi was also a Freemason.
Yeah.
Tiger.
Yes. Yeah, so as Mr. Devesh has written, anyone who is interested in joining Freemasonry can write to, there is a link in dglbombay.in, how to join Freemasonry. You can go to the site, www.dglbombay.in, and you can fill in the form, and you will definitely get a call if you are interested in becoming a Mason. Okay, Anand is asking, why is the organization is not popular? Is it intentionally kept aloof or any other reason? Okay, let me try to answer it this way. As I said, Masonry is the most, probably, it's a very, very ancient organization. It has history of more than 300 years. That is organized Masonry. And even before that, we have recorded history from 12th century onwards. Okay, and for any organization that hold, there could be a lot of information, and most of the time people are not aware. And if you see the Masons through history, they were all very prominent people, okay, very famous people, very famous scientists, very famous artists, okay. And naturally, many a times they would have been against, the power center some point of time. There could be some information given by someone. Otherwise, I don't see any reason why it is not popular. Actually, it is a very popular organization. We have not kept it intentionally aloof. If that is the reason, we wouldn't even have conducted this open house. Actually, we wanted to, have this outreach program. We wanted to be open. So that's the reason why we conduct this every year. And I'm not aware of any other organization, any other social organization conducts such open houses. So definitely we are not kept aloof. Can a Hindu join Knight Templar Lodge? Okay. See, primarily we are talking about a craft lodge here, because in the Knight Templar is about a side degree, I guess. I'm not sure whether it is. I'm not aware of whether there is a Knight Templar here. Probably there is. You need to check yourself. What is the relevance of continuing with very old traditions and reluctance to change with times? Okay, this is actually this is a misconception. We keep changing with times. There are a lot of changes that happen. Okay, all these outreach programs that we are doing also is the change that happens. Like any other organization, we have changed a lot. Okay, and we think that that is necessary, and we are doing that. So, but traditions, yes, we have certain protocols, certain rituals that we follow, which are from the ancient days. Because, as I said, certain esoteric subjects, if you want to really explain that to people, words may not be enough to communicate that sometimes. So you need rituals, you need allegories to explain it more correctly. And these protocols are tried and tested over generations, over centuries. Okay. So, and we are very sure of the effectiveness of these protocols, these rituals that we follow. And that is the reason why we can still follow those traditions. However, as I said, we are changing. There are a lot of changes that had happened, and there are a lot of changes that will come in future as well. What is the strength of your Mumbai Lodge number of members? Okay, in Mumbai, we have around 4,000 members in the district of Bombay. Many big personalities are Freemasons. I'd heard that once they become a Mason, we just tend to become someone really great. Is there any connection? Okay. Okay. So as I said, I don't know about what you mean by really great. It's a perspective, but as I said, Masonry is all about making a good man better. So definitely, if you go through the processes, go through the rituals, if you go through the practices, your self-awareness will improve. You will definitely become a better man. Okay, in how you're dealing with your brethren, in how you're dealing with the society, you'll have a you definitely will become a better man. So that way, yeah, you can say that you will become great. Is it compulsory to attend all the meetings? In fact, yeah, we insist that if you join the lodge, you have to attend as many meetings as possible. Okay, unless there is a genuine, issue that you cannot. In that case, you have to inform in advance to us. But otherwise, you are expected to attend all the meetings. People of all religions can join anywhere in the world. Yes, people, of all religions can join. We are completely religion agnostic, and the only criteria is you have to believe in God. You have to believe in a supreme being, and doesn't matter which religion you belong to. Mr. Alim is asking, how often do you meet? Usually we meet once a month, and sometimes more than that. During this COVID period, we are meeting more than that through our virtual mediums. But otherwise, normal lodge meetings are once a month. Okay, apart from making a man better person, what other objective a Freemason have? I think that itself is a great objective, and it's actually a complete journey. It takes a lifetime to make one person better. But as I said, we do a lot of charity activities, so a lot of social outreach programs. Masonry is one of the largest philanthropic organizations in the world. Not just, I mean, Masonry has a lot of appendant bodies as well, like Shriners and all biggest philanthropic organizations in the world. So a lot of other activities we do. How are the social activities funded? Uh, Social activities are mostly funded by the brothers themselves. Okay, we actually fund the programs, and sometimes, rarely, we do some fundraising activities externally also, but mostly it will be funded by brothers.
Brother John, this is Arjun Chawla. He's my brother. He resides in Canada.
Okay.
He's just joined us for this meeting. I'm so glad, Arjun, you could make it. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you. Any other questions? If there are no further questions, then we can probably close it. Okay, one more from OV. What is the difference between Freemasonry and Co-Masonry? Okay, Co-Masonry is also Freemasonry, as I understand it. Just that in Co-Masonry, both men and women are allowed. But the lodges which we are part of, United Grand Lodge of England, we follow the traditions, so only men are allowed. When I say that men are allowed, it's for membership. However, in our meetings, even some of the meetings, even women are, women also attend. For example, our spouses attend some of the meetings. We have a lot of family events that we conduct. Can you be a member of two different constitutions simultaneously? Certain constitutions, yes. So we acknowledge certain constitutions like Scottish and Irish, and also those constitutions you can be part of those constitutions simultaneously. do co-masonry follow the same rituals? The answer, actually, I don't know, because I have not been to a co-masonic lodge. But I assume that it will be more or less similar, but I really don't know unless any other questions? Can you describe any ritual? Okay. Usually, the rituals are not explained outside the lodge. Okay. However, I mean, some part of it can be explained, but I don't think this forum is good. We have time to explain any rituals. If you want to know about the secrets part of it, it's basically secrets are all about the science tokens that we use to identify each other. The rituals are not really secretive. It's only that we do that inside our lodge. I don't think this forum is good enough to explain those rituals. It's basically rituals are basically about certain allegories that we follow to make people understand certain concepts, certain philosophies about life. Okay, so someone has asked me as a direct message, how do you explain what's in it for me to a new prospective candidate? Okay, first of all, one thing I want to make very clear is this meeting is not for pitching for new prospective candidates. We don't do marketing. Okay, anyone who is coming to us, willingly to join, uh, we will probably will talk to them. We'll understand if they are suitable to join the craft. Okay, so I don't know whether I should be able to answer what's in it for me. They need to figure it out what's in it for them. If they find this as a suitable medium or a suitable organization for them. OB is asking, I'm from Pune, wanted to know if there is any lodge for women. I guess there are lodges for women in Pune, but you have to check the internet. As I said, that we don't acknowledge, we don't have any connection with any of the women's lodges. We have another 2 minutes. If there are any questions, we'll be happy to answer. Otherwise, we can stop it in 2 minutes time. If someone move out of a city, can he join the lodge in other city? Yes, of course, he can join the lodge in the other city. If it is part of the same constitution, definitely he can join. Okay, so I don't see any further questions. So thank you so much for attending today's meeting. I hope this presentation was useful. At least some of your questions were answered. Okay, if you have any further questions, you are always free to write to us. You know the website. Okay, you know the numbers you want me to call. We'll be very happy to talk to you any point of time. Okay, and definitely you'll get an answer if you contact us. So once again, thank you everyone for attending today's session. With this, I think we'll wind up this session. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you for your time. Thank you for making it on a Sunday evening. We understand how difficult it is to take time off on a Sunday evening, especially in such times. Thank you for sparing the time and for coming and being with us. Thank you.